Tom?
Yep.
Good morning. This is the Board of Trustees regular meeting, number 2021-08. It's April 27, 2021, at 9 o'clock on the dot. We are in the upstairs auditorium at Village Hall. Jane, please take the roll.
President Barry?
Here.
Trustee Phelan?
Here.
Trustee Warder?
Here.
Trustee Mallow?
Here.
Trustee Stalker?
Here.
Trustee Olenichek would like to participate by phone, and Trustee Desmond.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Would I have a motion, please, to allow participation of Trustee Olenichek by
Second.
phone? We have a motion by Trustee Mallow, second by Trustee Warder. I think it was Trustee Warder. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Warder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
And Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Can you hear us okay, Trustee Olenichek?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you. Welcome. Would everyone rise for the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Our public comments book is empty, so I'm going to return that to our intrepid clerk. Thank you, Jane. Item 4, conflict of interest disclosure. Does anyone have a conflict to disclose with any item on tonight's agenda?
I do on the consent agendas, C and D.
C and D? Okay. Thank you. And so I'm going to assume you're going to abstain from voting on those. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else have a conflict to disclose with any item on tonight's agenda? Okay, hearing none, we're going to move on to approval of the meeting minutes. For the closed meeting minutes 2021-05 dated March 23rd, 2021, may I have a motion, please, on item 5?
Motion approved.
Thank you. Trustee Mallow made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Warderer. Any discussion, gentlemen? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Warder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Olenichek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 6 is approval of the meeting minutes for the regular meeting minutes 2021-07 dated April 13th, 2021. May I have a motion, please, on item 6?
Motion approved.
Trustee Mallow again made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Desmond. Thank you, gentlemen. Any discussion? Let's call the vote, please.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Warder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Olenichek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 7, new business by village trustees. Let's start in District 1. Trustee Desmond.
Thank you, Mayor. I just, a brief, now that the weather is getting better, people are outside more, just to be respectful of your neighbours. If you have people over and music playing, please, keep it down. Not everybody might have the same taste in music as you do. If you have a dog barking outside, bring him in. Just be aware that your neighbours also like to enjoy their property, and that's all I have.
Thank you very much. District 2, Trustee Olenichek.
Yeah, I just wanted to give an update from the Public Works Committee. We have our street resurfacing grading project going on right now. We're looking to use a hot in-place asphalt, and so we're doing some testing on the streets that are graded as immediate need versus the ones that don't have an immediate need. But we're trying to see if we could get more streets done with our money by going to this process, and we're waiting for the outcome of the base results, which we should have within the next 12 to 14 days, and then we will be aggressively going out and bidding our streets with the hope that we can get more mileage done this year by doing the hot asphalt in place. So I just want to let everyone know at the next meeting we should have more information on that. And then getting on to what Trustee Desmond said, is treat your neighbors as you'd like to be treated. I would remind people that this is the time of year where you should be taking care of your grass, making sure that it conforms, and make sure that you do a nice spring cleaning to your yard. This tends to be the time of the year where grass gets a little high and some cleanups need to be done. So please keep that in mind. Our village staff will be out doing reviews to make sure that people are conforming to our village codes. And then the final thing, I just want to thank the residents that have contacted me overwhelmingly in support of our police and showing support for the statement that was made in the last meeting. I can only tell you that there is a resolution coming up that I look forward to our board unanimously passing, but we need to continue to fight and make sure that our representation down in Springfield understands that we are not for the police reform as currently written, and we need them to make sure that they understand that we're for the public safety of our residents of the Village of Oak Lawn. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. District 3.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have one thing, even though it's not May right now. May is going to be National Pediatric Brain Tumor Awareness Month. This one is something that's near and dear to many families in our village. In 2013, the Live Like Abby group was started for a Colmar student who lost her battle with pediatric brain cancer. Live Like Abby works intently to raise funds and awareness for the need for more research, specifically at Lurie Children's Hospital. And because Abby was a D123 student, most of it is centered around D123 schools. In the month of May coming up, there will be a walkathon. So I'd like to propose making May Pediatric Brain Tumor Awareness Month for Oak Lawn, which is simply known as Go Gray in May. You do normally see around town kids and adults wearing the gray t-shirts, the Live Like Abby t-shirts. So wearing gray is something that brings awareness to this terrible disease which robs families of their children. So livelikejohn.org/Abby is the website. So this will be a website that will take you to the information that you can find out more on Abby. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And if there is a resolution you'd like to include on the next agenda to make that a proclamation by our new mayor, that would be a great first proclamation for our current trustee Warder and Mayor-elect Warder. And with that, we're going to move on to District 4.
Thank you, Mayor. This is my last board meeting, and as I end my time as a trustee and move on to the mayor's position, I'd like to cap a little bit of what happened in the last 8 years in the 4th District. I was motivated to run for a number of reasons, but mostly to redevelop the corner of 95th and Pulaski. As you may remember, there was a troubled business there which brought a lot of problems to the Village of Oak Lawn. And we had a retail store there which outlived its useful life. I spent a lot of my first 4 years working with a developer and creating a plaza which I believe is Florida style, many trees, many bushes, part of the landscaping, actually impervious surface bricks that were installed, and I'm most proud of that. And as the mayor will report a little bit later in her report, there are 2 new exciting businesses that will be coming into that mall this summer or fall. And I'd also like to make mention that when there were many apartment buildings 50, 60 years old in the 4th District which outlived their useful life, and it became a eyesore, and we're attracting tenants which were not really the best. I contacted a couple of young boys who were in the real estate business they lived in Beverly, about possibly looking at purchasing some of these buildings and renovating them, which they did, perhaps in my district and in Tom's district. 5 or 6 buildings, put a ton of money in them, made them modern and desirable, and today the rents are marketable, and we have quality buildings in the 4th District, many quality buildings now. You know, I've lived in Oak Lawn all my life, and I believe that is the community to raise a family, and you have people from all statures in life. You go from doctors to laborers in this community. And when I always sent my kids to grade schools and high schools, I always felt that I was mixing them with a true representation of America. And I'm proud that this community still has done that. And I believe that we have turned a corner in Oak Lawn, and that the investment community sees Oak Lawn as a very desirable place to invest their money. I see a bright future for Oak Lawn, and I'm proud to take the mayor's position soon. Thank you, that's all.
The seat's ready for you, Terry.
Thank you, Mayor.
I'm keeping it warm. District 5.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank you, Sandy, for 8 great years as mayor of the Village of Oak Lawn. I think you've shown that being the mayor can be a true credit to the village, and you have worked in the best methods possible to make this village a strong, competitive, happy place to live, and I really appreciate your help and your concerns. I want to thank Terry for running for office, and I know he'll be a good mayor, but he's got a tough job to top you. Thank you very
Great.
much.
That's very sweet, Bud. That means a lot. Thank you very much, sir. You're going to make me cry.
That wasn't the goal.
District 6.
Thank you, Mayor. I know that the next meeting is the last meeting, but you will be here, so will Jane. So
Yes.
I don't have prepared remarks, not that I will then either. I'm gonna
Me neither.
I'm gonna
Next
speak from the
meeting.
heart then, but to echo what Bud and Terry said, and I'm gonna say something that Terry should have said and did not. When he ran for trustee in 2013, it was a rough time, as it was for you, Mayor, and even though Jane was an incumbent, it was a very, very difficult, distasteful, Trustee Olenichek and I were considering walking away from it because it was just so toxic. And we met Dr. Burry, and she convinced us to stay on and fight the good fight. And one of the things Terry said, even though he didn't run, quote unquote, on the same slate, if you will, as we did, he says, I'm going to run and try to bring back some professionalism and normalcy to the board. That's one of the goals that Terry left out. And I know he does that because he's fearful of making us look bad who were here at the time, but it's a fair statement, and he did that tenfold. So I think back to the days of 3.5-hour meetings, of nonstop fighting, of palace intrigue and double crosses, and all of it, at the end of the day, people don't know. I know trustees, I don't want to be immodest, we don't make a lot of money. Enough so that I don't really know what we make after taxes, and if your spouse handles the money, it pays a bill or two. But it is a challenge, and it's difficult to retain, let alone recruit good people to run. We saw that in the last election. It's getting more and more difficult. People are more and more jaded by the process, and it's alarming. So those that do step up, we have to acknowledge their efforts and thank them for wanting to get involved, but I felt it important to point that out about Terry, thanking him for bringing that professional, which I know you will continue on as mayor. The other item I want to talk about at Trustee Olenichek related, hearing from people about our position as a board relative to what's happening in the country with law enforcement, and being supportive of not an individual or even a department, but a mindset that if we don't have safety, if people don't feel safe, the rest of it's just words. You know, economic development, taxes, it doesn't mean anything. At least that's the way I live my life, and I suspect everybody who wakes up in the morning, the first thing they want to believe is they can come and go as they please without interference or assault, and I think that's the commitment we all have to continue to make, including our legislators. So I want to echo what Trustee Olenichek said. I heard from a number of people. One of them, Tom Cusack, the owner of Cusack Insurance, who's been a staple at Oak Lawn for probably 6 decades, I don't know, at least 50 years, office on 95th, who's always been quick to report back on what's happening, what he sees, letting us know, or me know in particular, you know, whether he likes what we're doing or not. And I always consider him and people like him to be good people to hear and or to listen to, because they've seen so much and they have so much knowledge. And he was very complimentary of our efforts and our proclamation, so I felt it important to share that. And finally, I wanted to speak about the recent press coverage of another criminal charge related to red light cameras in Oak Lawn. As has been the case from the beginning, depending on which media outlet is reporting it, and depending how quickly people read the headline and not the article, you immediately start getting texts about who is it, what is it, how is it. I just want to remind people that the fact pattern is this. No Oak Lawn trustee was involved in accepting or soliciting bribes. And I'm not saying this because it's me or not me. I wasn't on the board when much of this transpired, but it's now, depending on which social network you're on, or someone's commenting or implying or alleging that it's not only you, it's your son or it's your daughter. I think it's important to remind people that we were asked to not comment as an elected body because of an ongoing investigation, which continues to this day. And if you read the reports as I did, the implication that there's likely more to follow, whether it be in Oak Lawn or otherwise. But I think it's important to remind people that no elected member of this board was involved in a bribery scheme. We were told that, and I believe the individual who is involved was told that and is cooperating like we all are. And certainly no child of any elected member of this board was involved in any scheme. Whether others were contemplating or talking about or trying to or planning to, depending again how you read these various indictments or information, I just think it's important again to remind people that that's the fact pattern. Those are the facts, and this board is and has been committed to not participating in things like that. And in fact, was one of the few, at least in reading the media reports, that pushed back against efforts to corrupt that process, and then eventually got rid of that company. So I just want to remind people of that, and that's all I have today.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. We have the village manager's report next. Randy?
No report, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Consent agenda, item 9. All items on the consent agenda are routine and have been brought forward at the direction of the Board of Trustees and will be enacted with one motion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. 9A is a request of the Board of Trustees approval and direction to the Board of the Fire and Police Commission to hire 6 firefighter paramedics to lower overtime costs within the fire department due to CBA staffing requirements. B is ordinance 210841, an ordinance amending licensing requirements for tobacco retailers, and amending the Liquor Licensing and Review Commission to include tobacco retailer applications. C is a request to approve the Zoning and Planning Commission referral for parking variation for Cork and Bean at 4931 West 95th Street. This was a 6-0 vote to approve. Eileen Desmond is the petitioner in District 3. D is an ordinance granting that request. E is a request to approve the Zoning and Planning Commission referral for a parking variation for Birdie's Sports Bar and Grill at 4036 West 111th Street. This was a 6-0 vote to approve. James Gorney is the petitioner in District 6. F is an ordinance granting that request. G is ordinance 210844, an ordinance authorizing the sale of village vehicles and property that have reached their useful lifespan. H, resolution 210827, resolution to oppose House Bill 1721 and House Bill 2788. I, resolution 210828, resolution approving the Oak Lawn Regional Emergency Communications Center's agreement with Pyramid Consulting Services. J, resolution 210829, a resolution authorizing the execution of an IT service agreement with Proven Business Systems. K is resolution 210830, 4th of July Parade. L, resolution 200831, resolution authorizing the execution of a second amendment to tower lease with option between the Village of Oak Lawn and T-Mobile for the cell tower located at 5550 West 98th Street. M is resolution 200832, resolution authorizing the execution of a retention agreement with Kleinthorpe and Jenkins Limited for legal services. May I have a motion on 9, please?
Motion approved.
Thank you. We have a motion from trustee Mallow. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Trustee Warder is our second. Any discussion?
Mayor, I'd like to remove C and D and K.
Okay, very good. We have a motion to
Mayor,
remove
can I remove G?
G like George?
Yes.
Okay. We have a motion to remove C, D, K, and G. Is there any other discussion?
Ellis and Larry.
And L. Okay, so we are voting on everything except C, D, K, G, and L. Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek? Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. We're going to go on to 9C, a request to approve the Zoning and Planning Commission referral for parking variation for Corcoran Bean at 4931 West 95th Street, which was a 6-0 vote to approve. Eileen Desmond is the petitioner in District 3, and D is an ordinance granting that request. May I have a motion on C
Motion
and
approved.
D? We have a motion by trustee Mallow. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Abstain.
Motion passes 501.
Thank you very much. We have item G, ordinance 210844, an ordinance authorizing the sale of village vehicles and property that have reached a useful lifespan. May I have a motion on G, please?
If I could, just before.
Yes,
from a legal
counsel?
point of view. I asked that this be pulled off. I want to record a supermajority on this. Anytime we're selling village property, we need a supermajority of the board. That's why I pulled it off.
Okay, so this item requires a supermajority vote per council, and that's why it was called off. Any other discussion on item G? I do need a motion to approve. Trustee Warder made that motion. Do I have a second? Trustee Stalker, thank you. Any other discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item K, 9K, Resolution 210830, 4th of July Parade. May I have a motion on K?
Motion approved.
Thank you. Trustee Mallow made that motion. Do I have a second? Trustee Phelan is our second. Thank you. Any discussion? Trustee Mallow.
Yes, Mayor. The reason I pulled this off was just to kind of inform people of what the resolution is, which is to make a change to our July 4th parade. With this resolution, we're looking to change the time, the location, and the date. The thought here is that we would change to be a Saturday evening, July 4th parade, starting around 4 o'clock. The location would be closer to Cicero Avenue. From Cicero Avenue, we would have the parade continue as normal down to 55th Court, which is next to Primo's there. And again, the date would be the Saturday prior to July 4th instead of actually on July 4th. So that's just the resolution at this point, requesting from IDOT to approve that, so.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like
Trustee
to applaud
Phelan.
Trustee Mallow's efforts. One of the things that I like about our village is the efforts that people put forth to change things, even when they're perceived to be working well or good. And Trustee Mallow was talking to me and some others about, you know, what other villages do, when they do it, how they do it. And as a former special events liaison like Trustee Desmond, you know, my contention is, yes, you know, if it's worth trying, try it while things are working well. I mean, there'll be people who prefer a morning parade, but a lot of the comments that Trustee Mallow heard about, and I've since heard about and talking to people, is it is early. So early that by the time it's done, your day is still ahead of you. But if it's the 4th of July, generally speaking, you have to go back home and wait for the next thing, the barbecue, what have you. This mirrors what Evergreen Park does, and their parade is wildly successful and well attended. And plus, it'll help the businesses in Oak Lawn, which is one of the things we all want to do, because on the 4th of July, that early in the morning, many of the businesses aren't even open. So I really like the ideas here. Hopefully IDOT will be on board with them. And I told Trustee Mallow that we didn't even have the 4th of July parade back to, when former Mayor Heilman and I were talking about bringing it back. I wasn't even aware there was one prior to my service. So no sacred cows, and always good to try different things. I applaud Trustee Mallow's efforts, and I understand the committee is excited about it as well, which is always a good thing.
Yes, this was brought to the committee at our last meeting, and it was all positive as far as changing the time and the date.
And you're looking to add a few layers to it, like a concert and that type of thing?
Right. Once we get the approval, we would look to do something on the green in the evening. So
Nice.
we'll have more information once we get the approval. on the
Nice.
next
Trustee,
steps.
Paul, what time do you think the band, I mean, is it going to be
Right.
entertainment? I mean, are we going to get like Fall in the Green, you think?
Correct. Well, more like a Sunday concert, an evening Sunday concert that's now on a Saturday. So it would start around 6 o'clock-ish, go into the evening.
I think it'll be fantastic.
Okay, Trustee Border.
Paul, did you check with the Park District with their fireworks display? Does this conflict with what they're doing?
I haven't checked with the Park District if they're, we weren't even asked regarding the last year's fireworks display, which didn't go on, so I don't know if they plan on doing.
Traditionally, it has been on the 4th of July,
Correct.
as long as I can remember, but,
I haven't heard one word
Right.
either.
no?
Yeah, I think they would be doing it this year, but, Evergreen, I believe, canceled their parade and their fireworks this coming season as well. So,
Well, maybe we should just reach out to them and let them know what our plans are.
Labor Day.
July 4th is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they moved their parade.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you. So with that, we're going to call the vote.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item L, Resolution 200831, a resolution authorizing the execution of a second amendment to tower lease with option between the Village of Oak Lawn and T-Mobile for the cell tower located at 5550 West 98th Street. May I have a motion on item 9L, please?
Motion approved.
Thank you. Trustee Border made that motion. Do I have a second? Trustee Mallow is our second. Thank you. Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, I asked to have this removed for discussion to refresh people's memory. We're watching from home. We embarked on a project to partner with major cell tower companies to run our cell tower enterprise. Without getting to the weeds on it, we have 8 to 10 cell towers throughout the village and own most, if not all of them, and manage it ourselves, for lack of a better term. Negotiate the leases, collect the monies, etc. And a year and a half or so ago, we talked about finding someone who does this better than we do. And after a long haul RFP process, we decided on a company who gave us a great offer to give us a significant amount of money up front, but also to partner 50-50 moving forward on new additional revenue. So I just wanted to ask staff, our attorneys, for the status of this overall project, time frame on completion, and how this resolution ties into that.
Is that for me?
I don't know.
Paul O'Grady. Just globally, let me just kind of, I think you mentioned not getting into the, so this resolution is something that we're executing as we haven't moved to the closing phase, so it was incumbent on us to put it on. They didn't want to wait, so we negotiated this lease. It will be rolled up into the deal at the end. Overall, the deal is moving forward. I think everybody's eager to get it done. We are now in the due diligence phase, which means they have all our leases. They have the leases. What our equipment is up there, meaning the Motorola contracts, the police, mortgage, fire, whatever it is. Our equipment that we're going to have a $1 lease, you recall, to keep our equipment on the tower. we did have a little trouble struggling to get some of the leases with some of the vendors. That's been completed now, so that's moved forward. So now they're going out and actually physically inspecting. They've hired a company, and my understanding is a third-party vendor to go out and look at the towers and making arrangements. Tom Swaw, I believe.
With Public Works, they've been looking at the towers, and they're going to go see 130 today.
Right, so they're out in the field as we speak. And they were looking for some dates of when they were constructed. We got those to them yesterday, so moving forward, and hopefully, closing soon.
So I know in the original agreement, there was some time certain period of due diligence, 45, 60, 90, I don't know what. Are we not abiding by that? Is it keep rolling over? Is it starting? Is it ever going to end?
No, I think, just to be clear, there were some documents that we exchanged before the due diligence period triggered, and that was where there was lag in getting the documents to them. They wanted signed, executed agreements. We didn't have them. The vendors that were working remotely, we were not a priority for them to go dig out the contract. We eventually got them all. We got them all to them. That recently triggered their due diligence period. So that 45 days you're referencing didn't start until we got them all the documents. And that includes the documents of the leases of our equipment that's up there.
So
The contracts. So now we're in.
can I ask pointedly, where are we at on 45 days so that in another meeting?
I can't give you the day certain, but they are in the field inspecting the towers, and I can go back and give, we are in that time frame. Now, that can be extended by an agreement of the parties, but, at this point, I think we're through the majority of the issues. I can't guarantee they're not gonna see something when they go out there, but they're out in the field looking at the towers, and I think this is the last part of the due diligence.
The reason I ask is I was contacted by somebody who had talked to our original person we reached out to a year ago in Nashville, I think, recall, who has played no part in this since then, but he's some sort of consultant, and he must have told somebody about this, and we were in this process, and this person called me and said, well, wait, we can offer, I didn't say the number because I don't know the number, right? I didn't have it in front of me, but I said, I think it was a pretty competitive offer. We can beat it. And of course, we all fought that urge to keep restarting this thing because we want to get it done. But my fear is how long this has been taking with this one firm, and again, whether it's our fault, their fault, what have you, that we're going to be 6 months into this and find they're going to walk away from it. We're going to miss another opportunity.
I don't think that's the case. I think we're going through our due diligence. I think when you go back and what you said earlier is that they're doing their due diligence because they do this better than the village does. And the fact that going through this process just highlights the fact that things weren't being managed well. And that's why agreements weren't easy to find. That's why contracts weren't easy to find. That's why permits and so forth and so on, that we have. But there was problems there. I'm going to be honest with you. And we have it straightened out. They are moving forward. They have every right that was in the contract, that they were looking for those agreements. They made no bones about it. To get the deal done, that they wanted to review them through their legal process. We've gotten through that, right? And now they're in the field. So, they're spending money to do the inspection, and it looks to me like they plan on closing, and they're eager to close. That's the way I would characterize it.
So just for my education, how are they able to offer us a $4.some million offer without agreements, without documents detailing what it is our enterprise does, how it's operated? That's the thing that's confusing to me and others is...
I would say that through the RFP process, they had a general framework and an idea of what was up there, what kind of revenue was generated. Those were provided to them, provided to everyone a bit, right? Once we got past that and we started getting into the selective process, they said, okay, this is great. These look like your numbers, your agreements. We want to see exactly what you've agreed to and what's up there and what's not up there, for how long, any amendments the same, any signed documents. That's the due diligence, that's going into the due diligence phase. So I think, they had every right, I think, to walk away if we produced another contract that had an amendment in there that wasn't consistent with what we put out the first time. That turned out not to be the case, but I think that was part of the process, that's how they did it on it. They're doing it through their due diligence, I would say. Let's see the signed agreements, let's see the amendments to those signed agreements, and that's what they're looking for, because what we provided from the village's part of the RP, we're not the signed agreements, we gave a we gave them an idea of the revenue we were generating, right? And then that's how they did it.
So the final deal could change potentially.
I don't think so.
In dollar amount.
No, I think what we provided them was, what the bid was, they just wanted to sign document.
Okay.
All
All right, so within 45 days of today, have something, unless there's another amendment that we agree. And I must say, who's agreeing to the amendments? What I want.
We don't, they haven't asked for it, but they're out there looking. I guess my point is that, assuming that the towers are fine and constructed fine, and there's no problem with them, and they're not tilting, meaning, I don't know, I mean, 8 towers, 8 to 10 towers, that's what they're out there looking at, right? And so, I'm assuming that they're, from Public Works' perspective and everybody else's perspective, that there's nothing wrong with these towers, that they're fine. And so, barring that, no unforeseen bogeys out there, you know, I think we're in good shape.
Okay.
But I can't predict that.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? We're going to call the vote on item L, please.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Border?
Yes.
Trustee Mello?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Lanichi?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, village
Clerk's report, Jane, number 10.
Approval of semi-monthly disbursements, number 2021-08D, dated April 27, 2021, in the amount of $1,921,412.46.
Thank you. May I have a motion on 10A, please?
Motion to pay the bills.
Thank you. Trustee Border made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Stalker, I'm going to give that to. Thank you. Any discussion here? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Border?
Yes.
Trustee Mello? Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Lanichi?
Yes.
And Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
And I know it's a ways away, May 9th, but happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers from the village of Oak Lawn and surrounding communities. And my final comments, the next meeting, that's when they'll be. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Item 11, Village President's Report. My comments will be next meeting also, but I want to thank everyone for the kind words. It's a good feeling. It's bittersweet. I'm very proud of this village, and again, I'll talk more at the next meeting. So time to press this. Very good. Okay. So Trustee Border has been working really hard on this, and our whole team has. Oak Lawn Commons is at 95th and Pulaski, and just as on 111th and Cicero, it was an underperforming kind of strip mall with more seagulls in the parking lot than cars and shoppers. And when you think of the potential for sales tax revenue, it's incredible in our anchors into town. And this board has really worked to make every anchor point into our community everything it can be. Trustee Phelan, you're re-energizing 111th and Pulaski with the addition of all the new businesses there. We're so excited, but 95th and Pulaski is a gateway, and it was a real lost opportunity. So the Amazon Fresh is open, the Panera is open. People have started to see construction happening along right across the street from Portillo's. So Shake Shack is an incredible business, and they are building on that pad site. And I just want to get my little blurb here to talk about all the details so I don't miss any. It's going to come later this year. It's going to be incredible. It will be, again, right across from Portillo's. It's going to have a large interior and exterior footprint, over 4,600 square feet. It's going to have a wraparound patio, which you can kind of see in this image. It's also
going to
going to have a
very unique feature, and this is kind of the trend where
we're all used to drive up, you pull up to a little kiosk, order your food, and then drive up to the window, pay, maybe another window, get the food. They're doing away with half of that process. So you order from an app online, and you drive up. You cannot order at the window. You have to order from the app. So this is something new. This will be one of the first stores in the nation that has this app through lane, which is pretty exciting. So it's not a regular drive up, but it'll be an extra convenience for people in the area. And look at that patio. Oakland loves its outdoor dining for the 3 days a year where it's nice out. We can enjoy it. But I think the lights over there are just going to attract such a vibe, and it'll be so beautiful. And I know Trustee Warder, you worked hard to make sure we had the outdoor dining as well over there. It's going to be really spectacular. Just some slides of their food. That looks pretty good. That looks even better. And of course, who wants fries with that? Yeah. So it'll be let's see. Features classics including the Shack Burger, crinkle cut fries, hand spun shakes. It's also known for its menu innovations, which feature exciting and delicious limited time and feature menu items throughout the year. So Trustee Warder, well done, sir. Happy to announce this, and I want to thank our team also, and of course, Hubbard Street Group, who is really trying to get a good mix of business this year. So the goal, of course, is shop Oak Lawn. No need to leave Oak Lawn for anything. And again, the more money we spend locally, the more jobs are created locally, the less property tax we pay, and the more services the village can provide. So that's pretty much my report. More to come next time. With that, I'm going to move to item 12.
Mayor, can I mention that you had a glass of wine or a beer with your burger?
Sure.
That's important.
Yeah. They are moving through the process to apply for the license. They don't expect to open until later this year, but they will be having wine and craft beer in particular, which I thought was awesome. Any other questions? Or comments about Shake Shack? It's a really huge catch for us. Really nice. It'll be wonderful. Okay. I'm going to move on to item 12, Executive Session 2021-07, for the purpose of discussing number 1, approval of the closed meeting minutes 2021-06, dated April 13th, 2021, and 2, the setting of a price for sale or lease of property owned by the public body, and 3, the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body. May I have a motion on 12, please?
So moved.
Trustee Oliniechek made that motion, seconded by Trustee Mallow. Any discussion? Let's call the vote, please.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Warder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
And Trustee Destin?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, the time is 9:40. We're going to move into executive session. Thank you, everyone.